to distribute. We approved $384,000 in the first application series of the last time we got together. If my math is correct, we have $2,844,000 left. Last year, we went through the same exercise and gave away about a third of what we had, because if we give it all away, we won't have anything to give away next year. And that's not a reason not to give it away, it's just the reality of the situation. So with that, the first one that we're gonna talk about is the cricket application. So open the floor for conversation. Terry? Oops.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's got nothing to do with my love for cricket. I'm still trying to understand it. But having said that, I remember when staff presented the background report in the City of Hamilton, and then we got the demographic numbers in regards to the shift that's taken place in our community, and it was clear that there was a huge void in cultural sport in our community. As you heard from staff, they're just implementing the first regulated cricket at Confederation Park for a population of over 520,000 people. So clearly, there's still a significant deficit. You got a great organization, proven organization, ability to raise money as they demonstrated through the presentation. Truly a legacy project, because it would be a regulatory field that facilitates new immigrants into our community as well as the ones that currently live here, and certainly will help facilitate meeting the demand. Their openness, Mr. Chair, to opening up the field to the broader community was very clear and abundantly clear. Whether they partner with the city in the context of the booking and reimbursement, or whether they do it through their website, I think the gesture and the point that they're making is this will truly be a community asset. So I didn't want to get caught in the micro details. To me, it was, by saying that, clearly was a statement that this is going to facilitate meeting the needs of the greater community. So for those reasons, I truly see this as a legacy project, and I move to support the 300 and whatever it was, 348, what was it? Okay, so just 258,000.
Moved by Terry, seconded by Judy. We have two other requests for conversation.
Thank you. I just wanted to also say that I was in support of the recommendation moving forward, what Councillor Whitehead has just proposed. I think part of the legacy of this project is one that is fundamentally inclusive. The focus on ensuring that diverse ethnic and racialized communities have access to a facility that we currently don't have in the city. The fact that there's a focus here on not only newcomer populations, multiracial populations, different cultural populations, but also the emphasis on children and youth and seniors development. I was also encouraged by the applicants speaking today about their openness in terms of working with the city in figuring out their registration and community access. I think the mayor raised a really important point in terms of free community access, especially when it comes to multi-generational development of people playing cricket moving forward in future generations. So I just wanted to say that I'm definitely in favor of this one going forward at the full requested funds.
Thank you. Evelyn?
Just wanted to reiterate what has been said before, but to identify the fact that in 2006, the Social Planning Council of Hamilton Region identified the issue in a report called Recreation Access for Children and Youth of the Hamilton Diverse Communities, Opening Doors, Expanding Opportunities. For those of us who've been working around diversity and inclusion in this community, it's a very positive move, because we have been pushing for accessibility of resources for uncommon voices, I'd call them, in Hamilton. So I fully support this proposal. I was impressed with the openness as well of the applicant to hear the voices of various communities to ensure that its management is intact, and in fact that it's diverse in its application or management of the program. So I'm very supportive of this.
Thank you. Tara?
Thank you, through the chair. I just wanted to voice, I believe that we do need more cricket fields. I am still a little bit wary as to the public-private partnership, and we don't have all the details, and the devil is in the details. So I would appreciate more information before being able to make a decision on it.
Thank you, and they've demonstrated a great team and a great commitment and passion to not only the sport but to community engagement throughout this process. So I'm fully supportive of this. And just on that last point, I mean, we've had maybe to our city staff, we've had many occasions where we've utilized private facilities when we've had shortages of capacity in the city itself, and then we end up making an arrangement that kind of provides for a block of time, and then we have a prearranged kind of funding arrangement. I think that's been done on occasion. Can you kind of share some insight on that in terms of the question that Tara just asked?
Through the chair, that is correct in terms of the relationships that we have fostered with many organizations, whether it's a school board, whether it's other private organizations that step in and provide that operational support where staff cannot due to infrastructure needs or staffing. We've successfully had those agreements and partnerships with many organizations in that matter.
All right, so in this circumstance, given that maybe this pitch will be up before Confederation Park, or there's demand for both, we would be looking to, if we had community demand that we needed to fill, we'd be looking to them and saying, let's make an arrangement for us to get access to, on a rental basis from the city. So the city would rent a portion of their time for public use through kind of city resources, right?
Through the chair, that'd be correct. I think the one thing that we would have to just consult with risk management in terms of just the proper steps that we would take.
Right.
But we have had those conversations and those agreements in the past.
Thank you. So I fully support this, and it's a reasonable question to ask. How would that arrangement happen? And it's happened in the past. It will happen again, and wherever we're short in terms of the city, and then the private sector has the ability to provide, we've made arrangements to provide in a sensible, reasonable, and risk-averse way. So risk is always an issue, but that's always captured in the arrangement that's being made. So fully support this.
Okay, so I think we've heard from everybody. Before we call for the vote, we do have to have a clarification. If we vote yes, are we voting for 358,000 or 281,000? They did indicate that 281,000 would be enough. 281? So the money they say they can raise on their own, we don't care about that. Well, I don't know, but anyway, before we vote, I just want to have clarification. They said they wanted 358,000. They indicated they could raise 77,000, if I'm correct. So they asked for 358. If they couldn't get 358, 281 was enough. So just help me here. Okay, the motion's the full amount. I guess we're voting on the full amount.
So through you, Mr. Chair, do you need me to read the resolution, or is everyone clear on what?
Read it if you can, sure.
So that the grant application from the Hamilton Malayale Samajam for the conversion of a sports field into a cricket field at 1095 Woodburn Road in the amount of $358,000 be approved.
Okay, John?
Defeated, then we can present another motion for the 281. Is that correct?
Through the chair, that's correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we vote. Motion carried by 9 to 5.